Just one note for this episode. When we do these episodes where we are almost always recording over the internet, but especially around the world in areas where there's less stable internet or some sound issues, we'll always have a couple little glitches. So we appreciate your understanding as you enjoy these episodes. Welcome to Voices in the Wilderness, conversations about church and leader health. Thank you so much for listening. We encourage you to keep the conversation going. Voices in the Wilderness is brought to you by Preparing for Amazement Ministries, where we empower and equip churches and leaders to create lasting and transformational health. Visit amazed15.org to learn more. We also welcome any comments or suggestions. Simply email us at podcast@amazed15.org. My name is Marcus Carlson, and today our guest is Erick Liona. Welcome, Erick.
Amazing. How are you, Marcus?
I'm good. And you, my friend?
Yes, I'm doing well. It's quite a chilly evening here in Nairobi.
Yeah, you're in Nairobi, Kenya, and chilly for you is probably still warm for me.
Yeah, it's around 18 to 17 degrees outside.
Celsius, of course. People listening might be confused, those Americans. Well, awesome, Erick. It's good to have you on again. Thought we'd talk about a couple things today. And so just to get us started, just tell us just a teeny bit about yourself in case people have not met you from other episodes.
All right. So, my name is Erick Liona. I am born-again Christian. I'm here based in Nairobi, Kenya. And of course, I help to a bit coordinate the African ministry here on behalf of Preparing for Amazement Ministries. And of course, recently I've been having the privilege of just also helping in the training. And then apart from that, I help the ministry in creating a bit of some short form and long form content that just showcases to the world what we do here at this ministry.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so you join us in these trainings that we do, but you've now started doing some on your own.
Yeah. Yes.
And again, you help us with kind of video content. Tell us more about the recent training that you did and the impact it had.
Yeah, so about a month ago, around 15th of June, in a small town that is around 2 hours away, Pentecostal church about the need for training. So of course, I reached out and we struck a connection, and on the 15th of June, I was able to do a training there. I focus on the three topics, that is discipleship, leader health, and church health. So an interesting thing is that, of course, we had an attendance of around 70 plus pastors that came. This is pastors plus church leaders. So an interesting thing that happened after the training, we've mainly focused on, of course, church health and discipleship. And one thing that after a week, I got a call from the lead pastor, and he just told me that something has happened that is really interesting. I really wished you were here. He told me that now, after I taught them about the model of discipleship, of how every person should at least have 2 or 3 people that they are discipling, just as Jesus showed us, they were able the following week to go out to their villages and their towns and their homes, and the number of the congregants in the congregation was doubled. So he was so happy. He told me that we can't wait for you guys to come back because this is really working for us. He called me, and I was not even able to comprehend the whole magnitude, because it was just a small church of around 70 members, and now he's telling me that they have doubled in size. They had to even go borrow chairs for their congregation service that Sunday. So it was so amazing.
That's awesome. one pastor out of a
Yeah.
bunch that you trained, and this kind of had this huge impact. What would you say? What has this meant to you, being able to do this, and how has that shaped you as a leader?
So for me personally, this was an eye opener because I was just thinking when I was doing the training, of course you're there, you're trying to, of course, to pour out your heart and also this content that you want to this content to have a long lasting impact. But for you to see the impact immediately and how people are really longing for this kind of content, it really gave me this sense of urgency that we really need to go fast and to spread this information to many towns as soon as possible because it's transformative and it has like immediate effects to the general church. And as you know, our mission here at Amazement Ministries is to revitalize the church. So I'm saying this is a very critical moment for us to speedily uh, go and transverse across these places that people really want to know and to like to improve their health and also just to bring a sense of health in their congregations.
Tell us a little more about these pastors you work with. I mean, obviously, we try to work in situations where people don't have access to this kind of training or education. So, say a little more about that.
So basically, I wish we could share with our viewers, we receive tons and tons of emails every week, every week, people saying that we really just long, we have never experienced any, apart from maybe those that are lucky to have gone through theology school, almost I can say in a blanket between 70 to 80% of our church leaders here in Africa, most of them have not gone to any training past the one that they received in school. So there is need for this direct focus training that we have because most of these pastors have never experienced what we are giving them, and that's why they are usually so excited. And one thing that is you can see from just every time we have a training in any town, you see pastors coming from like even 400 kilometers away. They just want to be part of this, especially when they hear that we'll give them a certificate that they were able to at least learn and grow. They come from thousands, hundreds of kilometers away just to attend this training.
And those trips that are hundreds of kilometers away, I mean, those are hours and hours
Yeah,
of travel.
yeah, they come. So some of them, as I remember when we were in Malawi with you, you saw we had like almost 80 pastors coming with their little bicycles from far away, and they just were longing for this piece of information that we are giving out.
And you are one of our students through our kind of ministry where we help pastors in areas of poverty get uh, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees through a U.S. Christian university and seminary. So, talk a little bit
Yes.
about that.
So of course, knowledge is power, and as you know that, of course, the way uh, when you go through school, of course, it shapes how you become an holistic leader. Not only are you just operating within your context, but you get to see the worldview of so many people and so many other cultures. So personally, I've really grown in terms of my worldview and how through the content that I get through Kairos, I'm able to now be able to customize this piece of information to my context here in Africa. So that's the beauty about Kairos. It's really it's contextual. It's not just a blanket course that or curriculum that you go through. It hits you where you to the point of your need.
Awesome. So, as you think about
Yeah.
all this work that we've done, I've done, you get to do, particularly in Africa, Why is
Yeah.
it so important in Africa, and why is there such impact opportunity?
First of all, as you know, the story of Africa, education is has like as in the level of course, literacy is still, maybe I can say like 40%. So of course, as you know that you have to, knowledge is power. So we need to really ensure that leaders are thinking on in the right way. They are leading their congregation in the healthy way, and the only way to do this is through training. And that's why I see whatever we are doing as an end and a means to an end, because we are offering the immediate need that Africa needs right now. Apart from just the knowledge gap, Africa has a massive, huge bulk. Right now, as I always say, that our median age is 18. So there's a whole, um, almost half of Africa that is below 18, and it's easy to shape how people think in a very early stage. So if from an early age we are able to train people to know how to be healthy as leaders, then that means the future of Africa by default will be a very healthy society. So that's why we need to move fast, and it's an urgent need that we need to like traverse as fast as we can to ensure that we prepare this next generation to be healthy.
Yeah, and with the continent having a median age of 18, we know that the younger we are, that's when a lot of people come to faith, kind of between that 10 and 20-year-old piece. So talk
Mm.
about that a little bit.
Yeah, like it's easy. There's an African saying that says you cannot teach. It's not even African. It's a saying that we know that you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So it's easy to shape, uh, especially now that technology has had a very huge impact here in Africa. So it's easy to use technology with the right information to reach to as many people as possible. And one thing that is happening, there is a transformation here in Africa where the young people are longing for truth, they are free, they are liberated. So they want something to believe, they want to belong somewhere. So if we can be able to at least show them the right path, it's so easy for so many to come to faith. Because as soon as it's important to train someone when they are younger, rather than when they are old. They have so many belief systems, and it's hard for them to be able to accept some realities.
Awesome. Awesome. Appreciate you sharing all that. And I know we're going to get to have more conversations in other episodes, but want to share with some of our folks
Yeah.
about some opportunities they have to support this work. So if you want to sponsor an international student for a seminary education, we can do that with only a sponsorship of $100 a month. And there's places on amazed15.org to do that. These trainings that Erick doesn't require me to travel internationally and the big expense of that. We can, for $500 or less, we can train whole groups of pastors, not only get Erick there and provide the materials, but provide meals for the pastors, which actually is, for some of them, the only meal they'll get that week. And then, of course, if you want to sponsor these bigger trips where Erick and I go someplace together, there's lots of options on our website. So really easy ways for a small amount of money to make a huge impact in Africa. So, Erick, thanks so much for being with us. We'll get to do this again here soon, but thanks so much for chatting with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening. We encourage you to keep the conversation going. Voices in the Wilderness is brought to you by Preparing for Amazement Ministries, where we empower and equip churches and leaders to create lasting and transformational health. Visit amazed15.org to learn more. We also welcome any comments or suggestions. Simply email us at podcast@amazed15.org.